Ooh, all right. Let's get this rolling. I got my little stream deck here, and we're gonna make some magic on this live stream. This is something that is, how do I put this? Probably 18 months too late to have a proper streaming setup that I can run consistent live streams with mastering sessions on. So I'm really excited to show you this and do this for you guys because I like free flow of thought and being able to show you guys something in action and the thought process being pieced together behind it. I want to do it more often, but I want to have it as low friction as possible. So the idea of doing a live stream, having like my A roll, my B roll set up, and being able to stream the audio and being able to edit it and put without having to edit it is really important to me. So I'm going to invite you to, as we do this, I've got the chat window open down on my left, on my second screen. So leave questions as I go through. My response will be slightly delayed because I'm prefacing the quality of this stream, so it's archived for you over the speed of it. So there's about a 30-second delay between what I say and what happens on YouTube. So I want to preface that. I want you guys to ask questions. I will be delayed in the response time only because I'm prefacing quality on the stream in opposition to speed of response. Now, with that, if there is anything wrong with this stream, if the audio is cutting out, if anything's happening in the intermittent time, please let me know. And as soon as I see it and it is flagged, I will address it straight away. And we will jump straight into it. I can see Max Green's already asked a question. What's the name of that vinyl plugin you were using? That name was Sibilance by Tokyo Dawn Labs. So Tokyo Dawn Labs, Sibilance. We'll do another live stream purely on vinyl if you want us to. So I'm going to dive straight into this. I've got this song, Waves, by Blackwater, featuring Jalissa. This is something I've already mastered, but I'm going to do from scratch. And I'm going to do it from scratch because I mastered this in early January. And it's a really cool song. I'm going to give it a pass now, a brief pass to listen through. We'll get an idea of some of the qualities that it has, what I'm listening for, and then we'll just dive into doing this thing. Let's go. Beautiful. I have just realized as I've dived into this stream, guess what? We do not have any audio, but that's all good. We'll fix that. I think we can fix that pretty quickly. Let's just go here. Ground control, gonna go none. I'm gonna go back to ground control. This should fix that audio. What's happening there? Oh, okay. That is not how you want to start a stream. Especially given I thought we had this all on lock. Ah. Alright. No luck. Well, you know what? In the interim, what I'm going to invite people to do, because I am going to fix this for you guys, I want you guys to ask questions. I will answer any questions you have while I figure out this technical difficulty, which shouldn't be happening, but sort of is, unfortunately. So let's shoot questions. I'm going to troubleshoot getting the audio running. It was literally running before I ran this live stream. So before I started the stream. So I'm really interested why it's not working right this minute. But nonetheless, leave questions. I've got another question here by Go Toiler, which is, have they pre-processed any part of this master bus, little compressor or tape saturated? This mix is actually coming from Bob Horn, and I am pretty sure at the time of him printing this, this would have went or potentially have went through his analog Fern VT VT7 analog compressor. It's not uncommon where I've received mixes from him where he's purposely printed the mixes through that for a little bit of tone. So yeah, that's definitely one. Okay, let's just see if this audio is rolling. Alright, I've got the audio working now. That is good. I'm happy for that. I'll just make sure I've got a bit of trim applied. I'll answer 2 more questions and then we'll dive into this mastering session. Thanks for bearing with me with this. So let's talk about the gain stage in your mastering chain. Yes, Joey, we're going to do that as soon as we dive into this. Do you still AD clippers or just digital clippers? So for me, I am not using as much AD clipping, if any at all, even when I'm using my analog chain anymore. I find that digital clippers are giving me good results with minimal necessity to lean on them. And by that I mean, I had the Dangerous Convert AD Plus, and then also the Antelope ones, which I used to drive into for loudness, and there was a certain sound that came with that, but it was a certain sound you'd have to lock in. You'd have to commit to the sound of clipping the converters. And that can be good in some circumstances, not good in every circumstance. And the goal of that would be you'd get ultimately more loudness. But it doesn't leave you a lot of flexibility to work around that. I prefer using something like a clipper. I've got a new sort of thing I'm using, which as soon as it's released publicly and I can speak about, I will be showing you guys, which has various stages of different processing, and one of them is clipping, and it's very unique in the way it approaches it for mastering, so that'll be really good to surface for you guys. But mainly I'm doing clipping digitally when I need to, because of the flexibility and malleability of it to work into a chain. With a hardware clipper, it's a great tool, but you're sort of stuck to where it is. Once the audio is clipped, there's not much more you can do after that process of the analog chain. But anyway, now I've got the audio dialed in. I am happy for your patience in asking questions. Let's go on this session. 8 minutes late. We'll accept a technical difficulty for our first time.
Not what you've been thinking. It's quite the change springing. Never felt this way, it's never changing. That's the real thing.
Tell me that these feelings make me feel brand new. You recreate me, make me do things that I don't do.
Darling, want your body. First keep my eyes on you. You know just what to do. Next thing I sway with you.
So let me, baby.
First keep my eyes on you. You know just what to do. Next thing I sway with you. So let me, baby.
Moving me fast, taking it slow. Oh.
Alright, and we're going to move on into the main hook section.
Make me do things that I don't do.
I don't do.
Don't really want your body in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way, and I'm here to stay in motion.
Alright, so listening back to this, I think as a mix, this is super neutral. Everything's presented, it's well balanced, there's a good space for everything to sort of sit, and that's a good thing. That's like, audio is distorting. Should not be distorting. Okay, how badly is it distorting? Oh man, this is really disappointing if this has to turn into a different sort of live stream. Joey, can you give me like a scale of 1 to 10 on the distortion? I'm going to pop some headphones on and audition this so we don't get a loop back of audio. This is a bit... No distortion here. Okay, Sancho. Not for me. Sounded fine to me. Audio's clean for me. Okay. Alright. I'm having a mini heart attack there. I'm having a mini heart attack. You can't do that to me, guys. I'm already having technical difficulty trying to put this together. But that's all good. Alright. I'm so glad people are giving thumbs up on the audio. Alright. I can jump straight into my train of thought. Alright. Where I was feeling and hearing and understanding this mix as I listened to it. So, in terms of listening back to this mix, the mix is presented in a really neutral manner. Okay, I can switch between views. That's pretty cool. I got a little stream deck there. In a very neutral manner. The low end is well put together. The mid-range is well put together. The vocal presence is in a relatively good position. The one thing, and this is whenever I'm mastering something, and I've spoken about this over probably the past decade of my career when it comes to doing a first pass. I am listening for what pulls me in and what pushes me out. So if something's pulling me in, that's something I'm going to latch onto a little bit to try and enhance. And if something is pushing me away as a listener, that's something I'm going to try and address. Now, things that pull me in on this is I really like the rolling kick drums in some of the passages or transitions between chord progression. So that sort of low end rhythm. I very much like the vocal smoothness. I really enjoy the way the two vocals play together. So those things I like and those things I want to enhance. Things that are pushing me away. The sibilance is a bit peculiar because the sibilance, and we'll monitor this, is coming more so out the stereo field or the side signals than it is down the middle. And that's something I want to address because it's a little bit jarring. I'm listening to the mix, I'm locked into the middle, and then the sibilance comes in and it spreads out the side. So we need to address the sibilance issue. So pretty much those are the first two things I look for. What pulls me in, what pushes me away. I always like to address what pushes me away first, because by addressing what pushes me away first, then everything else I do is just icing on the cake. So let's address what's pushed me away first here, and that is the sibilance. We're going to monitor the side signal here. So we can monitor the side signal, and let's take a listen to literally the sibilance, or the mid signal and then the side signal, and you'll get an idea of where that sibilance is sitting.
Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion. Give me the notion.
Okay, motion and notion. Let's roll on that.
Give me the notion. 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 Give me the notion.
Okay, so there is actually a little bit more than I anticipated in the mid. Okay, so there's a bit of sibilance on both. Let's just play it in the stereo. Okay, so there's a bit on both of them. Okay, I think I want to address the mid side of this sibilance slightly differently. Because I got a little bit of an issue. If I address this as a stereo one, where I feel like the sibilance I'm getting out the sides is slightly different to the mid. I feel like it. At least that's what I was hearing. Or maybe it's because it is so stereo-ish, I'm just discerning it as two different parts. And I'm happy to admit to something that I might not be hearing as I first intended once I investigate that. What I want to do is I want to set up some de-essing. And somebody asked in the comments, what do you use for de-essing on masters at the moment? Now, I can do this in two different ways, and I might actually show two different ways or approaches. I like to use hi-fal. That's my main go-to when it comes to de-essing duties. And the reason being is because this is a high frequency acceleration limiter. So the more dynamic compression it's using, the faster the ballistics become, and the less compression it uses, the slower it becomes. Which is good in its own right, and you can set this up as mid-side as well, which is great. The alternate version, if I have a de-essing issue, and this is more so if I had a de-essing issue that was very frequency specific, more frequency specific, is Pro Q4 in dynamic mode. So if you go over here, you bring that down, and then you can start to tune in the attack and release dynamically. Now this is good because I can actually alter the Q factor. So when I've got very peak resonances, when I've got very peak resonance sibilance, this is a more stronger tool than hi-fal. Hi-fal I can relatively dial in a narrow band, but the crossover of these filters, I find a gentle, which is really good for mastering, but in terms of keeping the tone of something. But when it comes to actually wanting to get into the nitty gritty and get surgical, something like Pro Q4 is a good alternate to have set up. So let's actually set both of these up as I would, and then we can have a little bit of a listen to what it might sound like. So let's get that done. Oh my God. I just realized my Mutamatic is not working. How embarrassing. So I'm lucky I'm using, again, this is just like pains here of a live stream. This is meant to mute my microphone, which has not been being muted when I played the audio. I have a hypercardioid condenser, which means it's blocking a lot of what's behind it, but there's no way it's not getting bleed from my speakers. Why that's the case. Okay, I'm gonna have to just set Mutamatic up. That's really weird. Usually it works really well. I'm sorry for that, guys. Maybe, you know, some people who said there was distortion, that's what they were referring to. Let's see.
Make me do things that I don't do. Make me do things that I don't do.
That's really weird. Why is that working like that? I don't know. Okay. Ignore that completely. You were not getting any bleed that whole time. It's just that I thought that plugin would stop the monitoring, but it's I can see this in my OBS that it's all good. I'm so sorry that I'm being a bit jumpy on this one. Again, a little live stream first time nerves happening. So please excuse that. Let's dive back into this. I'm really appreciative that you guys are sticking around for any little nuances of the live stream, trying to figure things out. So muchly appreciated, and I can see there's great engagement here, so I definitely am going to be doing this more often with less technical issues. So let's dial in hi-fal. Let's have a bit of a laugh here at my slow mastering at the moment.
Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like in motion. Give me the notion. Give me the notion.
I'm gonna take
Notion.
I'm realizing something, which if Ryan Schwab, if you're watching this, this would be a really good feature right now on Hi-Fal. I want a slow attack on the mid channel, but I don't want a slow attack on the side channel. I want a slow attack on the mid channel for this Sibilance because I want the snare to still pop. But on the side channel, I actually want it to move a bit faster, and I can get away with it moving a bit faster because guess what? There's not as much transient or snap out the sides. Slow is good, but not on the side signal. I'm gonna swap this out here. So I'm gonna have one for the mid and one for the side. I'm gonna go there, bring that up, and then we'll dial in this side here. Undo that. Let's go. So I got two different attack release times for this two-stage Sibilance de-esser. And let's just hope we haven't cooked this track. So let's just have a listen here. We'll make that inactive. I reckon I got a little bit of leniency to get a little bit more aggressive on both of them, I think. So let's go back to dialing them in one at a time. Probably a little bit too much, a little bit too overzealous there. Now it's starting to sound a bit lispy. Okay, let's have a listen to this in context. And what I'll do is, you'll see it over here. I'll bypass and unbypass it as we play it. But I'm really focusing on that Sibilance just getting tamed. I don't want to lose the rim clicks. That will annoy me quite a bit. But it won't be something we can't compensate for with EQ either.
Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you to put it in motion. Give me the notion in every way, please.
Sometimes I'm bad at A-Bing and getting this right. Let's get it right.
Give me the notion in every way, please. Sway like the ocean. You put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way and I'm here to stay.
Ooh, that was very smooth. Let's try that again.
Give me the notion. Give me the notion. Give me the notion. Give me the notion.
Ooh, I like that. Actually, guys, let me know in the comments what you think on that de-essing. It is super aggressive, but it's also smoothing it out in a really nice way, which I appreciate. And I really like using this just because the ballistics here on your attack and release, more compression, faster, less compression, slower. That's really cool. Now, oh yeah, it is a bit dull. Some people are saying it's a little bit dull, and I do agree it's slightly dull, but there are things we can do to compensate for that. And maybe I might double back on this and go back to the hi-fi and readjust it later in the master. But I just really wanted to nip that in the butt. A little lispy. Yeah, I agree. I think enough people are saying, yep, it's a bit lispy. It's a bit lispy. Oh, yep, let's do that. I'll take your lead on this one. This is something that I would sort of brush over to readdress later. But I'm happy to take the lead of how people are sort of interpreting this, because we all hear things differently, and I appreciate that muchly. So let's dial this in just a little bit less. You know what? Hold on. This is where I'll take a little bit of a lead on whether it is dull or not, because everything is relative. So as we hear it now, I'm curious if we're hearing it overall with less loudness because there's less sibilance present at that top. And if we match the overall loudness, how that presents, because that's ultimately how people will play it, and how when it's mastered and it's pushed up against a ceiling, we will hear it. So let me level match it, if there is any level matching to be done, because again, K-weighting might just throw these sort of high frequencies out of the park for LUFS metering. So let's just have a quick look to see what the short-term LUFS is here. Okay, so that hits 14.6 when the DSs are engaged. We're half a dB louder without the DSs in overall loudness. So let's level match them. Let's get, now is there a trim output on this? I'm not sure if there is. Come on guys, have we got a trim? I don't usually use this to trim or gain stage audio. So what we'll do is we'll get a trim plug in here, throw this here, and we just need to compensate 5 dB, not 5 dB, half a dB, 0.5 dB up, okay, not negative, 0.5 up. Let's keep them level match. So this should be playing back at 14.1 short-term LUFS. Okay, let us play this back before and after, and I'll bypass the trim as well, so everything is level matched 110%. Okay, so I'll go before. We'll do it 2 more times. Okay, now it's level matched. It's not as bad or obnoxious, but I will say that I can probably still back it off a bit. I think people who are hearing that were not wrong. By a bit, I don't know how much is a bit on this. Like, it has to be just the littlest bit. But if it's too much, it's going to go backwards in the other direction too far. So again, let's just use our ears for this and get it dialed in 110%. What we'll do is we'll monitor the mid here, and then we'll monitor the sides and get it right to that right spot. Okay. I'm happy with the way that's dialed in. Nick Val asked, will these live streams be made available for playback? Yes, they will. I will make these available for playback, but it's really cool when you guys join because I love, like, jumping in with you. I'm happy I dialed that back in. I think the feedback you guys gave was on point. I'm happy also, and this is something that is important whenever we're making changes in a process, is that we level match the loudness. Now, it's like, this is what's important. When we're mastering and we're pushing into a fixed ceiling, we have to remember that that is our final destination. One moment, I'm just reading a comment there. Anyway, when we're pushing into a ceiling, we have to remember that we're going into a fixed destination. So as we move towards the end of this master, we'll move the volume up into that top ceiling. We are fixed at the top, which means when we're making comparisons, we want to make apples with apples comparisons, especially on the loudness. So even though these de-essing processes were relatively benign in terms of like overall, we added a whole bunch of low end or a whole bunch of color or whatnot, because they were relatively benign to that, it was easy for me to overlook the overall loudness and go, hey, we're not going to compare this apple for apples on loudness because we're just addressing the sibilance. I just really want to hear the sibilance in place. But the reality is, as we translate this and gain up into the ceiling against a limiter, you are going to be fixed at whatever loudness you end up at. So it's important, even if it's half a dB change, or in this circumstance it's 0.4 dB of a change, it changes our perspective and how we interpret the process we're doing. So it's really important to gain match our ABs, I believe, to 1/10 of a decibel, because it does change our perception of them. And at least that's my argument to be made for it. There is an alternate argument to say on a process like this, gain staging up 0.4 dB is also going to increase other elements of the master which you haven't really touched, so the perception might feel as though that the B version, because you've attenuated the high end, the B version sounds a bit more bigger, a bit more bolder. But in my opinion, I feel comparing apples for apples is best. Again, there's arguments both ways to appreciate how to AB. For me, in this circumstance, having them level matched is a fair representation, because that's what's going to get pushed into the limiter in the ceiling and how it's going to actually interact right at the top. So we've got this dialed in. I'm happy. The sibilance is done. Like that was like my only real qualm with this mix. Somebody also mentioned, I'll just jump back onto the B-roll. I just read somebody commented about how early I start in the morning. Yeah, no, it's not that late. This is like good time to start the work day, guys. It's 5 a.m. here. So I'm happy with that. The other thing somebody mentioned is how sort of compressed this mix coming in is. So here's actually some interesting insight for these mixes which come in from Bob. He sends me two versions. He sends me final mix loud and 4 master. And I get the discretion to master from either the 4 master or the final mix is loud. The only supposed difference between the two mixes is that one is gain staged 8 decibels down. They're the same mix bus process. They're the same amount of dynamic range. But they're two different passes, especially when he's using analog gear. So for me, I've done some delta, especially like when we started working together. I'd delta the 4 master in the loud version, and there'd always be very slight variances or differences. And I've always felt more comfortable working from the final mix loud version, which is the same edit when they're sent in the same transfer file for me, because this is what the client signed off on. And all I need to do is, with a trim function at the start of it, drop it down 6 decibels. Now, overall, this mix, in terms of overall loudness, is about -10 LUFS integrated across the board, which is, relatively good. Like, it still has a bit of range to it. Some people might argue that's a very loud mix to be mastering from, and we don't have much peaks, but it's actually, as you can hear, relatively dynamic. So now we've got the sibilance done. I'm going to stop yapping, and Let's continue diving into this. I want to really dial in the tone. Actually, before we dial in the tone, I heard something when I was monitoring here. Where are we? When I was monitoring this here, the side signal in the vocals. And this is interesting because it's a whole perception sort of thing. So let's listen to the side signal and see if you can pick up what I'm picking up here. Okay. What I'm hearing in the sides is when I hear the side signal, I like to have the balance of a nice steel string acoustic guitar. Like that's just what my ears have appreciated for being good translation in the stereo field on a contemporary master, is that sort of open upper mid. There's a slight bit of body to it, but not too much, but relatively open articulation and tonal clarity in the top end. This is relatively heavy in the low mids, and what that might produce, and what I do here producing in the stereo version, is a little bit of clouding below 300 hertz. There's good definition in the kick drum and what's in the center, but everything is relative. So if you want punch in the center, you need to have contrast. So if you've got lots of weight in the center, but lots of weight in the sides below 300 hertz, well, that contrast is going to be closer together. So you're not going to feel that movement coming out of the speaker in the center as much as you would if the weight in the sides below 300 hertz were complementary. So there was that contrast. There's punch in the middle, there's a bit of weight in the sides, but it's slightly pushed back. And when we listen to the sides, we'll listen to the whole signal, then I'll put the sides in. It isn't slightly pushed back, it's quite pulled in close. And we want to just create a bit of depth and contrast there.
Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way and I'm here to.
I actually really like the doubling of the vocals. I really like the doubling of the vocals and that texturally what it does to the stereo field, but I just want to play a little bit of a perspective game to get a little bit more depth out of the center. So let's go. I'm going to get rid of this trim plugin because I've already done the AB. I'm going to go Pro Q4 and let's get this side signal dialed in. Whenever I'm using Midside EQ, linear phase is really important because we need to remember that mid-side matrices are a function of phase. Okay, so you're rotating the phase of the left and right signal to encode into mid-side, and then you're flipping it back to decode to left-right. And if you're introducing phase shifts in your EQ moves, you're actually changing the encode and decode process. And I've got a video, which if you look through my records on my YouTube channel, where I use an all-pass filter on the side signal, and I'm actually, through phase rotation, able to move a resonance on the left speaker to the right speaker, simply because I flipped the phase 180, so when it decoded, that ringing went from one side of the frequency field to the other. And you'll find if you do any big boosts or cuts in natural phase or zero latency mode in mid-side, the stereo image will start to move around a little bit from its original position. So with this, linear phase is where we're going, and I really just want to get below 350, just sort of tamed here. I just want to see what's sort of going on here.
Things that I don't do. Give me the
You can also hear that sustain. There's like a synth sustain in the bottom end in a really interesting way. You can just hear it humming underneath. One moment. It's easy in between the vocals to hear that. Okay. Okay, so there's like a catch 22. It's not a ringing, it's actually just part of the arrangement and that sound that's sort of sustaining in the background. That's part of the sound design. But we just want to just pull it down a bit. It's all about perspective. Light, shade, loud, soft. I want that part of this mix to be slightly softer. I want to sort of split the difference. I wanted to go -3 dB on that, which is very aggressive, but I don't think it suits it. Like, it shifts the vocal tone a little bit, and it will shift the vocal tone. So I'm going to go -2, but just change the side signal to -1, so I can maintain a little bit more of that natural, the original tone that is there.
Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion.
All right, let's go level match this bad boy.
Stay in motion. Stay in motion. Stay in motion. Stay.
Okay, so just a 0.2 dB change in level, which I can very much happily accept.
Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way.
So it's that guitar sustain there. Let's have a listen here. Let's go back.
Give me the notion. You take me everywhere. Give me the notion. You take me everywhere. Give me the notion. You take me everywhere.
I don't know if I like that. Like, it's doing exactly what I described and what I said it would do, and it was something I was chasing when I was hearing it, but now I heard the change, even though it did what I wanted it to do. It sounds a bit hollow to my ear. Like, listen to this passage here specifically where you got the strum, the lower strum, and you got the sustain in the background. It exposes the kick, but sometimes that isn't always that isn't in the best interest of the track. And the reason why I'm saying it's not in the best interest of the track, it just feels like there's like a cardboard box in front of me, and I don't like that. Like, I just really, really don't like it. Let's have another listen. I really want to make sure, because sometimes we hear things that we might want to fix, and we chase that fix, but the reality of that fix isn't actually what serves the interest of the track the best. So yeah, let's play it. Sorry guys, I'm just trying to get through my thought process here. Sorry Move True.
You take me everywhere. 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 You wet me the notion. You take me everywhere.
I know I'm splitting hairs on a really silly decision, but this is important. I really want to show you what goes into making critical decisions on a master. I'm going to go -1 and sort of try and see. It is more separation to me, but separation isn't... I'm repeating a comment here read by Move True Records. Yes, there's a bit more separation. Yes, there's a little bit more depth. But I do prefer it bypassed at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go -1 here, just on the lows, and see if that is a little bit more to my ear. I really want to make sure this is like 100 before I progress to shaping the tone of it. Details matter, and this is important. So let's do that. So it's those 3 kicks that happen after it, which are sort of defining the perspective of depth, because you got the sustain and it tails off, and then boom, 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 and then the hits of the kick. So that perspective is really important to me. Just going to get rid of that kick. I just really want that sustain into the kick. That's going to give me a bit more perspective. I don't mind it at 1 dB instead of 2 dB. I'm not 100% sold. Don't get me wrong. I'm not 100% sold on this move because it's doing things I like. It's doing things I like, but how that translates at the end, I don't know. Because again, I really wanted to create that depth between the low mids in the sides and the center. So there's a bit more punch coming out of the center. There's a little bit less in the sides. But when I pull this back to where I suppose would be technically good balance, it loses its movement and flavor. So at -2 dB, this just doesn't cut it. At -1 dB, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more there. Somebody mentioned the low end transient, and I tried listening out for that. Not that I tried, I did listen out for that. And I think that might be a little bit of ear trickery going on there. But again, these are all good things to keep note of. You can never, as you're mastering through something, making changes, say, well, that is the best thing for this track. And what I've made is the exact right decision, and I'm going to keep it that way. We need to remain flexible. Even though we're happy with these decisions so far, or we might have queries about these decisions, which we have across the whole board. As we've done it, people are giving feedback. I've given feedback. I've questioned myself, and we've sort of dialed things in. It's important to not be locked into any of this. Any of this can change before we wrap this up. So now I've sort of dealt with the side and the center. You can't overthink, you're right. And somebody said you can't overthink, but for me, this is about leaving no stone unturned. This is how I just approach masters. I don't like anything to be, when I hand over something, and for me, this process is handing over a master to you guys in a live stream. I make sure I do not leave any page unturned. Everything gets explored, so I'm 110% happy. That's just the way my brain thinks before something goes off. So let's get to managing the tone. I think that's something we need to address.
Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. You put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way, and I'm here to stay in motion.
Okay. We're going to do some fun stuff right now because I just want to dive into being creative. or my version of creative, which is like making shit hit and punch. I really want to bring out the kick. So let's do exactly that. This is one of my more fun processes I get to do. So we're in Waves, in Isotope Audio Editor, and we can see a wave form. Now we're going to move over to the spectrogram. If anybody's curious about these settings, the spectrogram settings, this is pretty important. So we'll go View, Spectrogram Settings. It's on my other window. I'll just drag that across. Okay, so here we are going to go Extended Log. Okay, so typically if I go to reset this, it's going to be in a mel scale. And you don't get a lot of resolution in the low end in a mel scale. This is actually really good if ever you have to do any vocal edits or cleanups, the mel scale. But in Extended Log, which is an extended logarithm, it opens up the low end. So you get more detail to see sort of what's going on. These sustain notes here is the bass line. These percussive ones, hits, is the kick drum. And what we're going to do is we're going to use this to dial in some EQ to get the kick pushing and pulling and thumping in a nice way. So let's get exactly to that. Typically, I always try to find like an isolated kick. That's always a good help. Cool, there's no bass in the intro. That makes my job super easy. Let's dial in. All right, so attack, decay, sustain, release. So if we go into like this here, you know, you've got your attack portion, sustain, decay, release. If I have a highlighter tool here, you know, you've got your attack at the start, sustain is that big portion, decay, and then release. And then that corresponds with the frequency and the amplitude that's put in an FFT plot. So let's get our little tools out. The first thing is the punch. Okay, so where is the punch of this kick drum? So we can see the envelope where it starts, where it tails off to, is relatively around 100 to 200 hertz-ish. So if I highlight here this transient portion, not the sustain portion after the fact, actually I might dial this in just with a little bit more clarity. We're just going to bring this range up a bit. Cool. So if we see this attack portion here, we're just going to monitor the frequency before it hits the sustain. We're between roughly 100 to 200 hertz. 100 to 300 actually. This kick drum starts up high, okay? It's good to note that. Now, let's take a listen. This is like look, cover, write, check when we learn to write words in spelling at school. So let's get FabFilter Pro Q4. And when I like to use this as a little visual marker, I add 2 little place cards here in Pro Q just to know the bounds of where things are. And then somewhere in here, we're going to get a pretty nice knock out of the kick, which is, I like to set this up regardless if I'm going to use it in a master, because it gives me the flexibility when maybe I'm hitting a limiter and I'm losing a little bit of knock. I know exactly where that frequency is and I can bump it back in. So I just like having this set up regardless if I'm going to use this EQ or not.
Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion. To stay in motion. Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the old.
When I was sweeping this and I went below like 120-ish, it started to catch a little bit of the bass, and I don't want that to happen because then that's going to distort the bass notes and clarity there. So just have a listen.
Make
I get a little bit better isolation when I'm up higher. I'm going to just open the cue here as well.
Make me do. Give me the notion.
Beautiful. I'm really, really liking that. Let's again, always level match. Always level match. Actually, this is actually a good tip. If you're wondering what this is here, this clip here, where are we? Let's go to Isotope Audio Editor. That clip there is, we're going to go to Waveform Stats and go Max Short-Term Loudness. That clip there is the loudest 3 seconds of the song. So if you get the waveform statistics up and you click Max Short-Term Loudness, it's going to give you this time marker here, 202, which you can use. I also, do I actually have it open here? Oh yeah, I built a little tool for that so I can drag files in here. This is actually pretty cool. Will this work? I haven't used this in a minute. Let's see, where are we at? Let's make that. Let's make this work. Now, somebody, while I get this synced up, somebody mentioned dynamic moves rather than static. Now, dynamic are good, but I like to use dynamic moves for dynamic sort of problems. I don't like to. Actually, you know what? I'm sort of being a little bit broad stroke the way I'm approaching that. I don't feel like at the moment I want to approach this dynamically, like with a dynamic EQ. So just excuse me if I'm a little bit. What's going on here? Hello? I'm having trouble finding my mouse between two screens. Yes, dynamic moves are good, but I like to start with static because they're less intrusive. As soon as you start introducing a second element or dynamic movement into the EQ as well, there are side effects that you have to deal with as well. So at the moment, I just want to work with the tone and meld and shape it to where I'm getting it to. And then if something dynamically isn't working, of course I use dynamic EQ. For the most part, this is already really well held together and I don't feel like I need more movement. I'm just trying to shape the tone of things. So anyway, what I wanted to do here is get a perfectly level matched A-B for this kick drum where it's punching through. That's like number one, and then we'll get back to shaping this overall. So let's get this done. So we lost we gained 0.4 dB of loudness. So we're going to go down 0.4 dB. Right? We're going to type that in and it's going to do what we say. There we go. Output level 0.4 dB. So I got the exact same loudness. Let's have a listen before and after with this bump.
Make me do things that I don't do. I really want you to put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way and I'm here to stay in motion.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. I like running those 3 kicks together because that's like really indicative of what's happening there with that. Man, I'm more than happy with that as a move. I actually like that. That's really cool. Cool. So we've got the attack portion. Now I'm sort of like, as I said, I'm trying to sculpt the punch, the weight of this. So let's go back to this intro. We've got the kick right there. Okay, so remember, we've got, for anybody joining in, we've got attack portion. We're not on the kick drum there, I don't think. Let's go back. Yeah, we are. We've got the attack portion. Just zoom in. Attack, decay, sustain, release, depending on how you look at it or what note we're running on. Let's go there. Okay. So attack is this first portion. Sustain, we'll move it across. Decay is the bit going down, and the release is that very end tail. The end tail is really good to manipulate with compression, actually. So let's continue sculpting this. So we've got this 100 to 300-ish hertz range of knock, and something to note is the brighter the yellow or the orange, the higher the amplitude. And we've got this sustain and decay portion, which is relatively carrying more energy than the attack portion. And earlier we were talking about perspective, where there's light, there has to be shade, etc. And here, and this is very common with samples and just in general, once things start getting pushed and limited and those transients start getting shaved, the decay and sustain ends up with more energy relative to the transient. And this is something we can sort of look to manipulate slightly a bit. And again, we'll use the handles here. We'll go, okay, we're below 130 and above 27. There's a decay sustain portion, a sustain decay portion here, which is holding out a little bit more energy than the punch of the kick. So let's have a listen. Let's actually hear what's going on here.
Make me do things that I don't do. Like the ocean, put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me
And you can hear when I just monitor that frequency of 52 hertz, there's that slight vroom that it hits. It goes but vroom, but vroom. All right.
make me.
And what I want to do is I just want to pull it back ever so slightly here, which I think is important. So let's get that dialed in. Let's go 2.
Make me do things that I don't do. I really want you, put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every.
All right. What I'm also realizing at the moment, this live stream is going to go for much longer than I anticipated. So what I'm going to do is, as we just jam on this, ask questions, because at the end I'm going to be a bit stuck for time on questions. So please ask questions as I'm running through this, so I can answer them as I'm going. But anyway, here, this little cut here is removing a bit of energy after the transient. But we really want to make sure we level match this, because everything sounds good when you do the EQ move, but then when you level match it, it reveals a lot. So let's go back. We need to be at 13.9 on short term here.
Stay in motion. Stay in motion. Stay in motion. Stay in motion. Stay.
Okay, we're back to being level matched. Let's have another listen. A, B, this kick drum move here.
Make me do things that I don't do. I really want you, put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me everywhere.
Okay, I'm liking that. That's actually a nice little heartbeat to the way that's playing out there. Let's play these 3 kicks.
Like the ocean, 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 like the ocean.
I like it. It's very subtle. On the knock of the kick drum, it's not. On the tail, it is. But I'm appreciative of that. I think this move here, this move to cut the flab, is something I used to be really excessive with when I started. Like, I used to be pretty aggressive on cutting the flab and then boosting just the low end in general, and I'd lose a lot of the vibe of what was originally there. So I'm actually really happy Really happy with this move here. Now, let's keep listening and let's keep moving, shifting, and adjusting.
Make me do things that I don't do. I really want you to put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way, and I'm here to stay in motion. Make me do things in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way, and I'm here to stay. Things that I don't do. I really want you to put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way, and I'm here to stay in motion. Make me do things that I don't do. I really want you to put it in motion. Give me the notion. Sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Make me do things that I don't do. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. The ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way, and I'm here to.
Okay. All right. This is gonna sound weird, but like I think I've went as far as I can to shaping where the low end sort of envelope is. Like I'm happy with it. But this top end move here, I'm feeling like when I hear it, is like this low end sounds bigger with this cut here, which makes sense because if I just boosted all that low and relative to that top, it would it would be a big boost. But I'm sort of liking making that cut there, even though technically I'm not. Like there are other things I've got to listen out for with that. Let's have another listen. I'm going to level match this because this is, I don't know if this is going to dull the hell out of it. And I put this here just as a safeguard to compensate, for lack of a better term. So yeah, let's do a few things. Let's copy this to a B version. Actually, no, I can't. You know, this is one thing with FabFilter Pro Q4. When you copy to a B version, you can't change the output level, like it doesn't track. So let's just level match this, and then we'll do a B version and level match that, I guess. That's a little bit of a clunky way to do this, but I guess that's what we're going to do. Let's have a little listen. It should be 13.9 here. Okay, so only lost 0.1 dB of gain there. Let's have a listen before and after and see if which one we like better. Ooh, did I hear something I liked there?
You take me every way, and 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 you...
Yeah, I like the way that's helping fill out the low end in a nice way. Not sure if it's too much yet. well, like that's yet to be determined. I'm in a very high resolution there. Like that's what the EQ looks like at normal 12. But I'm just here so I can make finer adjustments. And also it's easier on my eye, even though it looks a bit whack.
Make me do things that I don't do. I really want you to put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way. Make me do things that I don't do.
I'm going to reserve a boost for 2K in a moment. I want to try it with this here, level matched. Okay. I know that might be a bit whack given we just did all the stuff on the low end. And I've got a few reasons. I want to do this because I sort of want to bring the low end to an equilibrium of the original mix. That might work completely against me on this, but I just want to try it. So if that is a tick, that's good. Yeah, we'll listen to the cut again before I do that. And then this 2K is exactly where the vocals are. It's like identically where the vocals are, straight there, the 2K. So this might be a good, like, once we get the tone shaped, just a little checksum, like a little, hey, are we happy with where the vocal presence is on this master? Yes, no, make a boost, don't make a boost. And we decide from there. So I'll give the high cut another A-B pass. No, just this EQ in general, an A-B pass. So there, like that. And then we'll do this low shelf.
Make me do things that I don't do. I really want you to put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way, and I'm here to stay.
I like the high cut. I really want to try this one out. Let's level match this to it. And I'll answer some questions quickly. I do the tone before level. Because what I find is if I can nail the tone and presentation of everything, the level just comes second nature. Like, don't have to sweat too much. It sounds good. It sounds big. It sounds the way it should. And then level is just sort of like, comes across nicely. So yeah, I want to level match this low end cut and then see if I'll actually like it. That would be good if I liked it, hey? Need to be at 13.9 short term here. Because that's another 0.6, so we'll go 0.8. Okay, so there's a bit of perspective here. Somebody says, like, that looks like a big cut. And that's because I'm at 3 dB there. It's only a 1 dB cut there. So if I zoom out, that's what the EQ curve actually looks like for, like, default settings. And that's 3 dB. Now, we've level matched this, so we'll have a listen A-B. Linear phase always for mid-side. And natural phase is fine for pretty much everything else, in my opinion. So we've got some retracted messages here. What's going on? I hope you guys are all having fun down there. Let's have a listen before and after and see how this sort of sits in the scheme of things.
Make me do things that I don't do. I really want you to put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way, and I'm here to stay.
Actually, I really like that. Let's go back to there.
We sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion.
Okay, I like that loop there. Let's go there.
Put it in motion. Give me the
man, I'm getting confused between reading the comments and doing my job here, actually getting this master perfect for you guys. I'm going to answer your question, Joshua, in a second, okay? Let me just get this locked in.
Put it in motion. Give me the notion. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. Put it in motion. Give me the notion.
I like so much about it without this low cut, but I like so much about it with it as well. That's really annoying. I much prefer this on a personal level. Like, this is where it's like this battle between the creative and the individual as a mastering engineer. This cut I like personally. It's much more cleaner, it's much more open, it's much more natural, but it loses a little bit of that weight, that density, which we've sort of been pulling away from the whole time. Again, this is personal taste and technical and creative. I'm going to go 0.5, level match it and check. And while I do that, I'm going to answer Joshua Dass's question. The question was, since you're dealing with the low end, how much difference has it made adding the subs? Huge difference. So let me just level match this and I'll explain it quickly. Let me just level match it.
Stay in motion. Stay in motion. Stay.
Okay, got to come back 0.4, which means that goes at 0.4. Okay, cool. The subs. So the Neumann MA1 subs have a tuning system for both the main speakers and the two subs. That tuning system has made everything incredibly amazing, easy to flow through and use. Yeah, I would strongly recommend getting integrated DSP monitors. So Neumann have them, IK Multimedia have them, Dutch and Dutch have them. There are a lot of companies coming out where you can tune your speakers on the install rather than having to use a third party, and that's what I really, really like. So let's have a listen to this, because I just really want to make sure I'm dialing this in, because I'm getting on with time at the moment as well. It's getting a little bit late in my morning, and I still got to get to like work, like getting my emails done and getting sessions set up and everything. So yeah, let's keep rolling on this bad boy. We'll go before and after.
Put it in motion. Give me the notion. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. Put it in.
Okay, I like that. I really like that. So let's get to sort of where this vocal presence is. And we've got, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a copy here, move it across. I'm going to go 1 dB at 2K. I think that's going to be like pretty good to work with. I'm going to go 1 dB. I don't want to go 1.5. That's a bit gnarly. And all I'm going to do here is, do we like the vocal out? Do we like the vocal tucked back? Out or tucked back? That's going to be like the big deciding factor as to whether we use this boost or not.
Make me do things that I don't do. I don't do. Don't really want you to put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way, and I'm here to stay in motion. Make me do things that I don't do. I don't do. Don't really want you to put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean.
This is one of the things I don't like the louder 2K. Creatively, I like it tucked back. But technically, it sounds cooler with it out. I'm going to fight against my urges to want to boost that. We might end up boosting it. Do we boost it? This is like, I'm going to leave it boosted with the exception that, and the reason why I'm going to say with the exception that, I can see this boost causing issues, potential issues when we drive it, like when we push it as into the limiter. So I'm going to leave it, but we might turn it off potentially. So we're going to sit that there where it is there. We're still finishing this master, don't worry. I'm just recalibrating. Somebody earlier asked, let's have a listen before and after the entire chain. So we're going to do exactly that. We're going to go all off, all on. Now, all off, all on. Let's do that. And at the moment, they are level matched because this here is 13.9 LUFS because it's trim, it's gain stage down 6 dB from 7.9. So everything's level matched exactly. I keep the gain staging within 1/10 of a decibel. So we can turn everything off, everything off, everything on. I might just, for visuals and lack of better terms, go here, boom, boom. Okay, these are all the moves I've made so far. And we can A-B them. Ready? We'll start off.
Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way and I'm here to stay in motion.
I don't like that boost. Sorry. I'm vetoing this. That boost was not cool. Let's re-level match here.
Stay in motion. Stay in motion. Stay.
And then if we turn it all off.
Stay in motion. Stay in motion.
Okay, I was playing at 0.2 decibels too soft. Okay, let's go back to here. I'm vetoing the 2K boost. I just made it sound a little bit anemic to my ear. That was at least to my ear. People might disagree with me on that. Let's see.
Put it in motion. Give me the notion. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. Put it in motion. Give me the notion.
Cool. Cool.
That I don't do. Things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way and I'm here to stay.
Yeah. I'm much more happier with that. I'm not happy with that boost as much as like I thought it would technically be the right move. It just made it all sound really anemic, and I didn't like that. By anemic, I mean like, you know, when something's a bit too toppy and shrilly and thinned out. I feel it was giving me a bit of that vibe when I was adding that 2K, and I wasn't cool with that. Yeah, was not happy with that. So we've got the EQ. I've got like a process here, so I make sure I hit everything for you. All that's sort of left here is some harmonic sort of stuff and transient sort of stuff. I want to add some harmonics to the side signal to compensate for this move specifically here. So we've pulled the side signal down -1 dB, but I want to bring out a little bit of energy out the sides because at the moment we're slightly closed in comparison to the original. So we're going to use Exciter for that. There we are. And we're just going to bring a little bit of saturation out onto the side signal. Oop, not transient sustain, mid-side. And see how we can get along with this.
Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion.
I'm picking this frequency region between 400 and 1.7-ish because any of the harmonics that get introduced are factors of doubling or tripling. So even order harmonics are 2 times, 4 times, 6 times the fundamental between this range, and odd order harmonics are 3 times, 5 times, 7 times, 9 times, etc., these frequencies here. So by effectively saturating what you would consider the mid-range to potentially the low mid-range, we're going to get harmonics in the upper mid-range. So what we'll do is we'll monitor the delta and we'll hear the side signal sort of get opened up here.
Like the ocean, you put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me everywhere, and I'm here to stay in motion.
What we can do is we can monitor the side signal and get the same amount of gain back from where we were before. That's not good. I've got an impact there. That's a good
Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion.
That is making it. No, I feel like this is making it much louder. So let's get back to the drawing board here.
Stay in motion. Stay in motion. Stay.
Yeah, it is. It's 0.3 dB louder. So let's just bring this down 0.3 dB. And we've got an apple for apples comparison before and after. So just adding a bit of excitement to the side here.
In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me everywhere, and I'm here to stay.
Loop this main section.
Put it in motion. Give me the notion. Put it in motion. Give me the notion. Put it in. Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. Put it in motion. Give me the notion.
Yeah, I love that. That's awesome. That's really good. Now, I'm really happy with where things are sitting, and you'll now see what I mean by just good EQ and balance. Also, the fact that this is like a really good mix that's already pretty held together. In terms of using maximizer, I shouldn't need to use a lot more than just gaining back up to where I need it at. I have the True Peak on. I'm using IRC5. I'm going to preface this with this isn't my main limiter I'm using at the moment. And I can't show you the limit I'm using at the moment because it hasn't been released. It's going to get released pretty soon and the public will all know about it. But until then, the public doesn't know about it. I'm going to default to IRC5. I just really like this mode for most things that are together and really in a good spot. And you'll see how just good general balance translates well when limited. And this wouldn't need much limiting at all to get it to a considerable level. So we've got a maximum of 1 dB of limiting here, and we're pretty loud.
Make me do things that I don't do. Don't really want you put it in motion.
right, so now we can compare it to the original mix, which is at full volume as it is. The original one was like, what was it in LUFS? I've got it here. 9.7 LUFS, maximum short term was 7.6. So now we can do like an apples for apples comparison. I might just pull this down a bit so we're a little bit more gain matched, but this is still a loud master regardless. So we can go before, which is when I'm soloing the compare, you're getting the before, and when I'm soloing the master, you're getting the after. All right, let's have a listen.
Make me do things that I don't do.
I don't do.
I really want you to put it in motion.
Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean. You put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way, and I'm here to stay in motion.
Let's just go back to here and other parts of the song.
Changing, that's the real thing.
Take me there. These feelings make me feel brand new. You recreate me, make me do things that I don't do.
I really want your body. First keep my eyes on you. You know just what to do. Next thing I sway with you.
Let me, baby.
First keep my eyes on you. You know just what to do. Next thing I sway with you. So let me.
Okay. I reckon I like this cut. This one here, I split at 0.5, so I'm not too bothered by that. I think this exciter's being a little bit excitable, for lack of a better term, so I'm going to split the difference and get back to it.
Changing, that's the real thing.
Take me there.
Stay in motion. Stay in motion. Stay in motion.
Alright, so let's get this one.
Make me do things that I don't do.
I don't do.
I really want you to
Put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every we sway like the ocean. You put it in motion. Give me the notion. You take me every way, and I'm here to stay in motion. In motion. In motion. You put me in motion.
Yeah.
In motion.
Ooh.
In motion.
Yeah.
You put me in motion.
Some cool qualities of the original one and some good qualities of the master. I think the master sort of embellishes the things which needed to be embellished. I think there's a case to be made against some of what's going on here. I reckon this could probably be minimized a little bit, like that boost and cut, because I just feel like some of that low end weight is moving in a space I don't like. Like, I like some of that woofiness to the original. So I'm going to just bring that to 0.5, this to 1.5. I'm going to just quickly level match this in out. Just give me a sec.
Stay in motion. Stay in motion.
Okay, that's fine. Let's have another listen.
make me do things that I don't do.
I don't do.
I really want you to
Put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every way we sway like the ocean.
Nah, I actually like it before. It was punching a bit, had a bit more of a bit of a chunky feel to the low end, like in the chest.
make me do things that I don't do.
I don't do.
I really want you to
Put it in motion. Give me the notion. In every
Cool. Sorry, I just realized I had the A-roll camera on and not the B-roll when I was making all those changes. I'm really sorry. That's a bit clunky of me. I promise I wasn't doing any funny business or changing anything. I just went to the A-roll because I thought I was going to answer questions, and I'm not like streamer mode superstar anymore. Not anymore. I never was. I'm yet to be a streamer superstar where I'm like all on the stream decks flicking things like that. So it's getting pretty late in the day, so I'm going to answer questions. So throw questions down there and I'm going to like spit fire answers. I've got questions here, which people have asked, like from the newsletter. So if you haven't subscribed to the newsletter, panoramamastering.com newsletter, that's where you should go to. So Vasco in the mix asked me to address metadata and deliverables. I'm going to give a brief overview of metadata and deliverables. Metadata and deliverables really applicable to Redbook CDs, like DDP images for CD printing. For digital, a lot of aggregators ingest the metadata manually. The person who uploads it puts it down. And it's sort of become redundant on the digital end. I would implore you to Google UMG audio asset deliverables, Universal Music Group audio asset deliverables. That gives you a detailed documentation on the file naming standards UMG use, which is what I use currently across my projects, because when I'm delivering a UMG, I just want everything to be the same. I don't want to have to change up the way I name things and organize things. So that's something worth looking into. Marcello Tiberio from the newsletter asked about when he mixes, he also masters. The mindset there, where he's like, well, if you're mixing and mastering, shouldn't you just take the approach that you have a perfect mix so you don't have to do anything in the master? And I do agree with that premise. I think what has to happen is a sense of like a mental separation between the two processes. You have to be able to switch off the mixer brain and to listen to it as a master, as a full picture. Appreciate what you've done, which is actually really hard. If you're the mixing engineer, there's a lot of self-criticism. So you have to be able to pull away from that. And when you're mastering your own stuff, tell yourself, hey, I really like what this mixing engineer, you have to speak to yourself in third person, has done here. I need to retain these qualities and I want to address these others as you move through it. And you've sort of seen that in action here. Sean Thompson asked about QCing mixes. So I'm going to just bring something up for Sean because where is this window? Here it is. Sean. There we go. Okay, here we are. Overall, this is like literally my QC list. Oh, wait, no, I don't even have it up on the screen. This is literally my QC list for when I'm looking through a mix. So somebody sends me a mix. This is the list I hit up. Every time I'll go through each of these notes. I'll look at the overall and peak level. Are there any audible distortions? Actually, this overall level and peak level, I should replace. This is a little bit old. It should just be whether it's a 24-bit or a 32-bit file, because whenever the peak is 0 dB full scale, it's usually because they've printed a mix going over 0 as 24-bit, not 32-bit, and they don't actually need to change anything except the way they export it. I'm moving pretty fast at the moment because I got to get back to other duties, so please excuse me on this. Any audible distortions or artifact present, the low end bass to kick balance, low frequencies to top line. You can just like screenshot this and steal this. How's that? You know, enjoy that. I'm going to go through the comment section here. Whoa, what's going on? Oh, my mouse. I forgot about that thing. I'm going to go through the comment section to hit up questions people have been asking. So you need to be very patient with me to make sure that I answer everything fairly. Let's go through these questions. I'm going to go back to A-roll. Somebody said don't take advice from people on the internet who make different genres of music from you. Nishay, Niles Pichet, I understand the sentiment. But I don't dispel anybody's advice, regardless of whether they make the same music or not. We all hear things differently, and it's like, for me, no qualms. Like, you can shoot down my masters, and I'm happy for you to if I can learn something from it. And I think through this process of doing this live, I actually learned a bit. Like, you know, like there were little nuances that I was putting in and I was liking, and then made me question myself, and people sort of chimed in. It was a good, like, sort of like barometer to run with. So thank you guys for contributing in all respects. If I understand correctly, I've been using FabFilter Pro 2 for many years, although there's always little secrets in that field people share. Yes, limiting's a really weird one, because for functionality, limiting's very practical and simple and fundamental across the board. Most limiters do the same thing. The meat and bones of it, like 90%, it's just the 10% in the way they approach it, like the little nuances which make different limiters good for different situations. Go Taylor asked, do you ever do a high pass on things, say, below 30 hertz to punch up clarity and get more loudness? No, I do not do that, because when you, like, I don't do that because, as a general rule, that is not always going to work. Whenever you put a high pass, you rotate the phase. When you rotate the phase, you change the peak values of the samples, and sometimes you lose more headroom than you gain. I do use a high pass if there is excessive sub, which otherwise is working against the track and the intention of the mix. So Go Toiler, Go Teal, sorry, asked that. I don't use that as a general rule. I don't think that is a good rule for mastering, to just high pass for the sake of loudness. You high pass for the sake of there being an issue down there that you can't otherwise use. Like, you can actually use, you don't have to use a high pass. You can use a bell filter to get rid of stuff down there. You can use a low shelf. It just really depends on the sonic characteristics. If something is very rumbly at 15-10 hertz, you're going to use a high pass there. It's just going to suit better. Prod.bladebeats asks, do you recommend to level match final limiter to hear any tone or change distortion? Yes, I do, when it's doing heavy limiting. Now, there's two things. In this live stream, I rushed a little bit past the mastering, the limiting stage, for a few reasons. Number one, I'm a bit short on time. Number two, it's only doing 0.8 decibels of overall limiting overall, which is very little, and the artifacts would be minuscule. It's typically when I'm dialing in about 2 decibels of gain reduction that I start to get a little bit more nuanced and into it to really dial in the way things are sounding. But yes, level match, listen to the delta. That's really revealing about what a limiter's doing. Is the Hi-Fal plugin a new go-to on your master chain? I've been using the Hi-Fal plugin since probably about October last year, and it is something I'm using often. So yes, automatic screenshot to mix feedback. Yep. Did you ever come to an agreement with Cohen Halden on 44.1 or 48K? No, I didn't come to an agreement. I don't know if we had a disagreement or different philosophy around 44.1 or 48K. I work at whatever the native sample rate is, and that's sort of where it's at. If people are wondering what that is, actually you can't see it. There's my jumper, the Loud AF Club. That's the podcast. I'm doing a second season I'm currently filming with really killer producers and engineers I work with from all over the world. I'll put that up there, loudaf.club. Let's keep like pushing through this, and in probably about 8 minutes I'm going to jump. Let's keep going. Joey says, I think the unlimited mix would have been helpful. Now, actually, let's pull up the B-roll. Let's have a look at this screen here. Wait, where are we at? Here. I will tell you this. You can think the unlimited mix would have been helpful, but here's the thing. On a project like this where timelines are tight, the artist's creative has signed off on everything, getting the unlimited mix changes the mix completely. So what the artist has said yes to, what the A&R has said yes to, what the producer has said yes to, what the mix engineer has said yes to, is this version with the limiter on. When you take it off, you're making a lot of assumptions about the tone that otherwise you're going backwards on and you're going to rebuild. I tried doing this the very first time I worked with Bob like 4 or 5 years ago. I'm like, take the limiter off. He took the limiter off and the whole mix sounded different. Like his mix bus chain going into certain analog gear, getting that drive, hitting his converters is the sound of that mix. So in a perfect world, you go, yeah, take the limiter off. Let's do that. But it's not always the case. It's not always in the best interest. Not always the case. It's not always in the best interest of the mix and the result. Let's keep it rolling here. You need multiple ears. Yes, you do. What's the number one thing you focus on when mastering a track? The number one thing I focus on is the main mix that's been signed off. Like all these nuanced decisions I made during this video were in the interest of embellishing what I said at the very start. What pulls me into the track, what pushes me away, and then building on that, and building on that around the mixer's intention. What else? Do you need multiple ears? Blah, blah. Nicholas, since you're answering questions, I saw a video of you a long time ago explaining the decibel true peak issue. I remember you reached an interesting and mathematical conclusion, but in my experience, the question has not been finished yet. Is it normal for the dBTP to vary from song to song? I've seen some engineers who like the negative 0.1 dB true peak standard. It's not normal for them to vary song to song on an album. You just set a ceiling and then run with it and go from there. Do you have any recommendation on how long I need to rest my ears before listening to audio one last time before sending it to the client? I have a rule that I don't send anything off until the very end of the day. So I'll do all my masters for the day, and then probably the last hour, hour and a half block are typically admin sort of tasks for me, like things I've got to do with the YouTube channel, with the podcast, with emails, with bookkeeping. And then after I've done that and freshened up my ears, I might have went for a walk. I'll listen to everything, then shoot everything off. You guys just reminded me, I did not send off my masters for yesterday. Sorry. I just realized that while I'm talking through this. That's another thing I got to add to the to-do list before I bring the kids to school. I need to send off yesterday's masters to my clients. Whoops. That's all cool. I'm ahead of time. So technically they're in their Monday and yesterday was their Sunday. So, because I'm in Australia, I'm like a day ahead of you guys. So it's all cool. I'm not missing any deadlines, thankfully, which isn't actually good, but like, just so you know, like that's sort of my admin of the day. Atmos NDH 30 tips starting tonight. Doing some Atmos. Gonna sit down and shoot you and shout you out in the content. Thanks for shouting me out in the content. The tips for the Atmos on the NDH 30s is always have in your Atmos session a level matched stereo version that you can A/B to your Atmos, and keep that stereo match version as like golden apple. Like you must honor that stereo one as you monitor the Atmos, and you A/B level match it really tightly, so that way as you're making decisions, as you're moving and panning things around, you can hear tonal shifts. That's going to really help you make confident decisions. Whereas the analog isn't at for this yet. I'm still trying to figure out how I can set up a second camera for the analog chain. I'm just like sort of pointing, where's my finger? Down there. Set up a second camera and route that all in for a live stream. Do you ever master projects that are very low, mid, heavy in tonal balance? Mastering a bedroom indie album right now that's kind of mixed like hip hop and having trouble nailing the low end. Yes, I have had troublesome low MIDI mixes before for mastering, and sometimes the best way to make it sound good is, I'm not trying to say, how do I put this? You need to embrace a little bit of that character that's there, because if you try and make it technically perfect and scoop everything out, it loses its vibe. So you have to figure a way to sort of be flexible, or what's the other word? Everything's a balance of two evils. I'm getting a bit brain dead on words here. Compromise. You have to compromise your technical values for the creative intent of what's sort of presented there. And that's at least what I've found when I get mixes that are a little bit quirky, a little bit muddy. Figure out, can I deal with it? How far can I deal with it? What of it will I have to embrace? Thanks for responding. What was your go-to talk about Serban and you... Stem master. You was going to talk to Serban and you guess kept talking. I don't know about Serban. You ever mess around with stem mastering? Thoughts on that sort of mastering? I love stem mastering. If you just search stem mastering on the channel, you'll see some stem masters I've done. I done a really cool one for one of my favorite Italian rappers, Guè. It was on the Lex album. That's really fun. I love stem mastering. It's really fun to get into the weeds of. I don't default to it because I think it can undermine a lot of the mixing process, but where it's appropriate, shit yeah, love stem mastering. Do you ever master live concert mixings? How do you recommend that first? Yes, I do live concert masters. How do you recommend to start first? It really depends on project to project. Sometimes the mixing engineer's done a lot of the cleaning up and they're just really well presented mixes and I can go to town. Other times, it's just the 2-track from the live concert. You don't have multis and there's a lot of editing. So you have to do your editing first, and that's not very pleasant. Not that it's not pleasant, or not that I don't want to do my job. It's just a very tedious, monotonous task and a bit touch and go. It's not the creative that we've presented here today. Have you ever received mixes from not pro mixers that aren't 100% balanced, and instead of making changes to the mix, they give you the freedom to make creative decisions? Joshua, yeah, I'm going to be powering through questions for a few more minutes, then I got to go, guys. So, like, excuse me if I'm rude at the end and I miss your question. Have you ever received mixes from not pro mixers that aren't 100% balanced and they give me the creative freedom for decisions? This comes from Joshua Das. Yes, I have. Yes, I love it. Like, I really love it. Typically, those are points where the mixing engineer or the producers hit a wall and they're like, I've pushed this as far as I can. I just need to hear it differently. And typically it's more so with electronic music, and I just can go ham on getting creative with effects and processing on the master. And 9 times out of 10, it's like 2 thumbs up and everybody's happy about it. How do you make those decisions creatively? I just love my job and listen to it like music should be listened to. I'm sorry to bother you so much. What should we pay attention to when mastering a song, configuring decibel true peak? Look, if you really want to get into the weeds of measuring, I'm going to just pull up the B-roll here. Ozone 12. If you really want to get into the weeds of monitoring decibel true peak, set your true peak and monitor the codec here, okay? And then solo the artifacts and unsolo the artifacts. And you'll hear how the true peak affects these conversion rates, because this is most critical. This is why we consider decibel true peak, because when we go to lower bit rates, we get overs or samples or signal that is constructing over zero and causing distortion. So if you really want to be super conscious about your decibel true peak, use a codec preview, monitor different codecs, and solo the artifacts. Simple as that. What are we up to? Oh, okay. Is it possible to do stem separation in the current level of tech, or do you only stem master with the OG stems? Okay, so I'm going to answer this last question, then bounce. Actually, before I bounce, I'm going to mention 2 things. Please go to panoramamastering.com/newsletter and subscribe to the newsletter. That's like number 1. Number 2, go to loudaf.club. Just type that in your web browser. It'll take you to my other YouTube channel because I've got a new series coming out. But I'm going to answer this last question. Is it possible to do stem separation with the current level of tech to master with? I believe it is. I've done it before with the Ozone. It isn't perfect. There are limitations. You're not going to be making 3-4 decibel changes to the stems because it's going to go whack. But for gentle decisions, or a little 1 dB bump here, or a 1 dB cut here, or a little bit of movement in another spot, for the most part, you're going to be 2 thumbs up and okay. Now, with that, I'm going to thank everybody who joined the live stream. This was like really humbling and really cool that everybody came for this. I'm going to do this again because you guys freaking rock and allowed me so much gracious, how do I put this? You were so gracious to me figuring out the streaming and the buttons and getting the cadence and flow of this. So thank you kindly. I need to wrap up to get onto emails now. So with that, until next time, take care.